The state of Hawaii government agencies have a policy that blocks most URL shorteners within the state network. Many of the widely used shorteners are known to be used by bad actors to share malicious links. Allowing these links into the government network could lead to catastrophic data breaches, malware injections, and ransom attacks. The goal of the Menehune URL shortener is safeguarding the state's network and promoting trust in the hi.gov domain. This is accomplished by increasing security through transparency and accountability. The transparency comes from the data provided to the admins about where URLs are originating from, as well as malicious URL creation attempts. Accountability is increased by having URLs associated with user accounts, so that any suspicious or malicious activity can be traced to the user. The user must first create a user account in order to shorten URLs. To prevent rainbow table attacks, the passwords are hashed and salted before they are sent to the database. After the user has logged in, they are faced with a success you are logged in screen and redirected back to the About page, where they can read about the instructions on how to shorten the URLs. By having users create an account before they can shorten URLs, it creates a level of accountability so the admins or whoever's monitoring the application can know which users attempted to create which malicious URLs. In order to create the shortened URL, the user must click on the Shortener tab on the navigation section and enter the link they want to shorten in the first input field. While the user is typing in the long URL, there is real-time URL validation to check to see if it's valid. Once the input is valid, they are given a success message at the bottom of the input tab. The user can also customize their shortened link using the Customize Your Link input below. If they want their link to expire at a certain date, they can also set the expiration date in the following date picker field. Once they have a valid URL and have either customized it or set an expiration date, they hit send to submit the URL. If the shorten is successful, then they are given a new URL to use at the bottom and can copy that URL to their clipboard using the copy to clipboard button. If the user opens a new tab and pastes in the shortened URL, they are redirected to their original long URL. To prevent the spreading of malicious content by 4chan and Anonymous, validation hooks are injected when users attempt to create URLs. These hooks enforce security measures that prevent the shortening of banned domains such as websites that spread misinformation, as well as the spreading of known malware files such as cryptocurrency miners. Attempts by users that trigger these preventative security measures are logged for administrative review. In order to see the URLs that the user has generated, they would click the URLs tab in the top navigation bar. Here, the user can see the various URLs they have created, the number of times that they visited those URLs. They can see the long URL that it got translated from, and then the alias URL. As part of this URLs page, you can click on the alias and it will redirect to the long URL for you. And there is also sorting based on the number of visits, descending or ascending. There are also 3 action buttons that you can take on each shortened URL. The first one is the edit URL. This allows you to edit the link you want to shorten. You can either provide a custom link or change this, I guess. Cool, and that gets created here. You can copy each of these individual links to your clipboard. Or you can delete a link that you've created. Admins of the application have access to the administrative console. In the console, any logged security events are available for viewing. Admins can search, filter, and export these logged suspicious events for auditing purposes. These exports can be attached to security reports reporting on these suspicious events, and this would allow admins to see which users are frequently trying to create malicious links. Admins also have information on where users are being redirected to. This information comes in the form of the IP address of the domain any given user is being resolved to. Malicious files are usually served from foreign nations, as the process of reporting and taking down such files is next to impossible. This section, including the map and bar chart, allow for an at-a-glance viewing of where users are being routed, giving admins the information on which countries or IP addresses deserve a closer look. For example, here in the map we can see that there are 16 redirections to the United States, but there are also 2 redirections to Russia. Statistics are also available on whether or not users are using secure SSL enabled links. This comes in the form of comparing the use of HTTP versus HTTPS. It is important that users use SSL enabled links, as traffic coming to and from such websites are encrypted, whereas traffic coming from unsecured websites is not. From this information, admins can choose whether or not to enforce the use of HTTPS links. As we can see here on the charts, we can see the number of routes that were shortened from HTTPS routes versus which ones are HTTP.